everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle, for those of you who are brand new around here, and I am super excited for today's video. It is a very gloomy, dark December day out, so we're gonna be taking advantage of this indoor kind of day, and we're gonna be making some homemade DIY Christmas presents. So the very first thing that I wanted to start off with making today is a homemade soy wax candle. And the way you start this off is by creating a double boiler. So I am using one of my pitchers. I actually used to make candles. I had a small candle company several years ago, so I have one of these pitchers, but you can use any item that you use as a double boiler. And I am melting some soy wax in a pot. And I love putting things in fun little containers, so I'm just gonna be using this very Christmassy looking mug to make the candle. And I will be attaching 2 wicks. Since it's such a large container, I find that 2 wicks usually work a little bit better when you have such a large container. And I am inserting them into the jar with a glue dot that I've purchased at Michael's, but I'm sure you can also purchase online. Anything that I talk about in this video, I'm going to be linking below. And at this point, you can add the scent of your choice. I have a bunch of candle oils from my candle company. So this one was a nice fiery roasted kind of chestnuts roasting scent that I put into this candle to make it feel really warm and Christmassy. And I'm also checking the temperature as I go along. You want to make sure that when your wax is melted, that it is at least 180 degrees. That's when it's going to pick up the scent the best. But then to pour it into your container, you want to have it to be at least 120 degrees or a little bit lower, so that if you're using glass or anything like that, you don't break the jars. And then you can stand your wicks up with either a wick piece, or you can use a pencil and just wrap the extra wick around. The next thing we're gonna make is homemade body butter. This was super easy to make. And again, we're using our double boiler. I'm using my pitchers. They're super easy. At any sort of double boiler container that you have is gonna be fine. And I'm putting 3/4 of a cup of African shea butter, as well as 1/4 of a cup of coconut oil. And I am allowing that to just simply melt in the double boiler. And once it is melted, you can then pour it into the bowl that you're gonna be using. Now, I don't have this shown in the video, but I actually then stuck it into the freezer for about 20 minutes. Once it was done in the freezer for those 20 minutes, you don't want it to be like totally solid, but not totally liquid either. I added about 15 to 20 drops of lavender essential oils for a nice scent. And then I just took my little mashed potato whipper there and started to mix it all up. And I added a tablespoon of arrowroot powder. I had read in the recipe that I'm gonna link below that this actually helps it to not be super greasy on your hands, but actually really soak into your hands nicely. So I whipped that up to a nice light texture that took me about 4 to 5 minutes, nothing super long. And then I just added it to my nice glass mason jars to add for gifts. Now, I recognize that the yellow color of the African shea butter might not be the most aesthetically pleasing color. There are definitely a bunch of different shea butters online, and I will link them below so you can purchase them off of Amazon if you want to make them yourself. The next thing that we're gonna make is a homemade salt scrub. This is super duper easy. I just took about 1/4 of a cup of coconut oil and I put it into the microwave to melt. I put it in for like 30 or 40 seconds, nothing super long, just enough to be melty. And then I added a full cup of Himalayan sea salt that I had pre-mixed with some lavender leaves and some chamomile. I let the oil soak in for a moment, and then I added about 10 or so drops of lavender essential oils. You're gonna mix this all up and make sure that the oil is fully incorporated with the salt, and you have a beautiful salt scrub for your gift. And then I just stuck it in this really nice and easy container. I believe I also got this at Michael's, but again, I will link all of the products below so that if you want to make some of these gifts yourself, you can find where to get them on Amazon. I love this salt scrub because it is really nice to help get some dead skin off of your hands, off of your legs. Here in the Northeast, we get super dried out and really dry skin very quickly. So having the salt scrub and then using the body butter after is so nice and moisturizing to your skin. It will definitely make you feel better in the very cold winter months. The next thing that we're gonna do is a homemade body oil. Again, I like this because in the north, it is very, very cold. So I am just taking a nice amber jar. I'm putting about 2/3 of almond oil into the jar and then another third of jojoba oil. And because I love for winter peppermint, I am adding about 5 to 10 drops of peppermint essential oils into my container, and I am just very lightly mixing it around. Rolling it is just a really easy way to kind of mix it up without going crazy. Next, I want to get into more of the homemade food items, and I love making homemade dinners for people. I think that they are really great. I love to do like food baskets for like grandparents and whatnot. So I made 2 loaves of sourdough sandwich bread from scratch. And I let those cool on my cooling rack, and I actually put one of them away. And then the other one I'm, gifting for somebody for Christmas. So we have the bread, and then I just made a very simple, easy vegan chili to pair along with it. You throw it in a mason jar, it looks really cute together, and you have a wonderful gift to just bless somebody with for Christmas that is completely homemade. And then the next thing that I want to do is make some homemade sourdough discard chocolate chip cookies. I made these on my channel already, so I will link the video below with all of the directions on how to make these cookies. They're so absolutely delicious, but they're just such a great gift to give to people. I love to make cookies for our neighbors, for friends that we're gonna go see during like Christmas Eve, different pieces of the holiday. They are a perfect gift to give somebody. And I loved the cookies with the candle here because they look like cookies and milk. So cute. Thank you so very much for watching this video. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys really soon with another video. Have a great day. Bye.